Hello and welcome to HAZMAT, the only show that found these microphones deep in a cave in a jungle. I'm Matt,
And I'm Harry.
and today we're ranking the Indiana Jones films.
Not all of them.
Not all of them?
No, I'm lying. I'm joking. We're going to do all of them.
He got me there.
Oh, you really affected you.
It
I'm
really
sorry.
got me.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Sorry, I
didn't
just
know that
was
would
so
really.
taken aback
I
by that.
didn't know that would get you so bad.
So how this is going to work is we've both compiled separate ranking lists. So we're going to compare and contrast. We haven't seen each other's lists yet. So if they do end up the same, then what are the odds? I'll kick off with my number 5, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I can confirm. Also, my number 5.
Yeah, bottom of the barrel.
It's the only one that I think we would say was bad.
Yeah, but I think we enjoyed watching it when we were watching it.
Yeah.
And it's a fun film.
It's still it's just because it's so kind of goofy and over the top that it's still fun to revisit, but like film wise it's the only one that we would like argue is a bad movie.
Yeah, but when you really sort of get down to it, it's not quite as like based on historical fact as some of the others are. The aliens are just a bit much.
Yeah.
I think like my biggest issue with it is like you see the aliens. Like if you're gonna do aliens, like maybe make them I don't know look a bit more evil or like
Or like just don't
I don't know.
show them. Make it was more just kind of ambiguous.
Yeah, like it was just this like goofy alien, just like whoa, like right in the camera lens. And it just it's a real different vibe to the first three. But I mean, I suppose that was gonna be a given considering like how far apart it was from the original trilogy. It was like they were finding out how to make an Indiana Jones film in the 21st century.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why the newer ones don't hold up quite as well as the originals, because they didn't quite understand. They thought that updating it and bringing in all these like crazy special effects and like big budgets and everything was what they wanted to do with like a modern Indiana Jones movie. But the enjoyability of the originals is kind of seeing how they managed to get around all that stuff, or just the creativity they went into with like all the practical effects.
Yeah. It's almost like the older ones have limitations in terms of effects, which makes them more charming. Coming in at number 4, The Dial of Destiny for me.
Okay, so we're 2 for 2.
2 for 2 so
I've
far.
also Dial of Destiny at number 4.
We enjoyed Dial of Destiny a lot.
Yeah, still a really good movie, I think.
Yeah. It beats out Crystal Skull. I think it returns back to that historicalness. It still has a bit of silliness because it's time travel.
Yeah, they kind of lean like Crystal Skull did into the sci-fi elements.
Yeah, but it's done in a more like grounded way. It's sort of a scientific thing rather than just like, oh, we can just travel to a different place or whatever.
It's like
That's how you get there.
like mathematically predicted how it works.
Yeah.
Much more tasteful this time around.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Kind of cool to see Indy like at it again in this one as well. He's like proper old now. He's old in Crystal Skull, but now he's like proper old, and it's almost like impressive actually that Harrison Ford is still like up for this.
I think this one definitely had much more of a feel of like, you know, the grizzled veteran outlaw archaeologist like back for like one last ride.
Dial of Destiny makes Crystal Skull Indy like look quite young. Like Crystal Skull Indy has been the oldest Indy for a long time. And now, like, Dial of Destiny really makes him look he's still youthful in that one.
Yeah, like he's very much like Silver Fox.
Yeah.
Crystal Skull, and then now he's just like aging, weathered man.
Yeah, but no, I think Dial of Destiny is a lovely like conclusion to his story. Gives it a bit more development. You know, he's got a bit more of an arc. Like, sure, Crystal Skull ended with their wedding, but then Dial of Destiny sort of added this like divorce element, and then bringing them back together at the end. Yeah, I think was just a nice little add-on.
Number 3, controversial, I think, in the eyes of a lot of people. My number 3, the original Raiders of the Lost Ark, is my number 3.
Mm-hmm. This is where we're going to start to differ.
This is where things start to go off the rails a little bit. 2 and 3 really hit and like nailed, perfected the indie formula that Raiders didn't have, kind of like the additional sidekick.
Yeah.
I think it works its best when you have both the love interest and the kind of like comedic relief. You still had characters like Salah in the first one, John Rhys Davis character, but like they never like properly joined in and were part of like.
He's more of a like helper character, or like a mentor even. Like he's less of a sidekick.
He's he's an important NPC.
Yeah.
But he's not a party member.
Yeah. My number 3, maybe controversially as well, is Temple of Doom. It's obviously great, and I think it is a lot of people's favorites. But there's something about it I didn't quite click with, like I did with the other two. It's very in one place. Like a lot of it is just in that temple. It's sort of less of a like gallivanting adventure, but it's obviously still great. Obviously, a little short round is there.
Yeah.
Like I think he's just the best thing about like Indiana Jones.
He's easily, I think, the best character.
But I think over the short run, I didn't like quite click with like I guess the plot of it as much as the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is my second favorite, which I think definitely nailed the comedy aspect of it. I think it's definitely the most fun. I think Sean Connery as his dad and being the comedic relief sidekick for this adventure was an inspired choice, whoever came up with that.
Yeah. Great casting choice there.
Yeah, really good chemistry between them. I mean, I'm just like kind of guessing at that based on how the movie ended up. Like, I don't know how they actually got along on set. I'd be devastated to hear that they didn't
I can't imagine if they hated each other. Oh no.
But yeah, they just like play off each other so well. I wouldn't be surprised if like a lot of those sequences were like improvised. Everything about it, I think, is just like fun time. I think the one kind of drawback, I guess if you want to describe it that way, of the movie is that because it's so fun and like so silly at times, you have to wonder like, do you kind of lose the sense of it being like a high stakes kind of adventure and like the high drama and peril of it, where that gets like lost in the mix because of the comedy being done so well.
My number 2 is Raiders. I just think it's just such a solid like action film from a practical effects standpoint, from an action sequence standpoint, and from a plot standpoint. I think it all comes together so nicely. It's like such a good intro to the character in that it's not any sort of origin story. We're just thrown straight in with him. This is his life. Let's go for a ride with him and see what happens.
Yeah, I always kind of like love that about the Indiana Jones movies, that you're just expected to know or like just accept from the off that this is the kind of job, the kind of work literally. He does.
You get the big rock within like 5 minutes of the film or something like that, like one of the most famous scenes. And it's just straight away. Like you'd think that would be like a big finale or something, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's such a fun watch. I think that's like one of the biggest elements of Indiana Jones as a whole is just how fun they are. Like they never stop moving. Just an all-around good time.
But yeah, it's good. Not as good, at least in my opinion, as my number 1.
Yeah.
Temple of Doom. A lot of the things you said didn't really click with you are reasons why I really like it. The whole fact that it is kind of a more self-contained, smaller adventure. It just makes sense for doing a story earlier in the timeline. It scales it back. It's a more kind of personal adventure, I guess. A lot of the times he's doing it for work purposes or for like the nobility of like trying to preserve these kind of artifacts.
Yeah.
They always drop the line about how he's like, oh, it belongs in a museum. Like everything like thereafter is like it belongs in a museum. So he's doing it for like the preservation aspect.
Yeah, that's always his like objective.
Whereas like Temple of Doom, he's doing it to help this village that has like lost their like sacred stones. It's like a big part of their culture. So he's doing it to help like someone else, and it's just kind of like a more personal stakes adventure.
What a nice guy.
Just a lovely man.
What a polite
lovely man.
And my number 1, if you haven't guessed it yet, if you keep on count at home, is The Last Crusade. It's exactly what you said. I think the comedy really clicked with me. It is just done so well. And it feels like a quest, like a proper quest. It's like they're working towards finding this place. And the place is where this thing they need is going to be. It sounds like silly to say like that, but it just feels so like logical. It just follows all the perfect steps, like plot wise, I think. Yeah, the duo of Sean Connery and Indy, you said it all yourself. I think it just all gels together so well for me. It's the one that I just had the most fun watching, I think.
Yeah, I think like you said, because it like follows the steps so perfectly, Last Crusade is almost like structures like the perfect Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
It almost is, because it's like different areas, different enemies along the way. They almost kind of reset every so often and then get into the next thing. It just works so step by step, and it's just like such a fun adventure
Plus all like the
with all these
goofy
different
comedy
pieces
and one-liners. Yeah.
and the comedy one-liners. Do you think Harrison Ford has ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
I don't know. Is he friends with like Joe Manganiello?
I doubt it.
They don't seem like they
Feels like
hang
Harrison
out.
Ford's not friends with
Or
anybody.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, maybe they've met. I think they've met. At
Surely
premiere.
they've met.
But I think Harrison Ford thought Vin Diesel was like The Rock.
Just how good is the Indiana Jones series?
They're all just like, other than Crystal Skull, they're all good
yes,
to great
Yeah.
to brilliant. Yeah, I hadn't seen all of it before we started covering it, but I'm glad I have now. Indie fan for life,
But not for movie. For.
but not for movie 4. Thank you for watching HAZMAT ranking the Indiana Jones films.
If you'd like to see us do more stuff like this in the future, then you can support the channel by hitting subscribe. You can leave a like or a comment, and as always, all of our socials will be listed down in the description.
And join us next time, where we travel through time back to 1999, and we party all night long, baby.
I was hoping we were just gonna travel all the way back to 1995 and prevent my own birth.
Well, we can do that if you want.
Let's do that. It'll just make things so much easier. Cost of living and all that.
Hello and welcome to Matt. There's no Haz here. He's gone.